My name is Justin Cummings. I'm an environmental scientist at UCSC, city council member, former mayor of the city of Santa Cruz. I'm also a candidate for the 3rd District County Supervisor. And I want us to all take a moment to have a round of applause to celebrate Rosa Parks' birthday today. And I wanted to start briefly by saying one thing, which was a story. I was over at the parish one night, and this woman who I see there frequently, who's a bit older, in her 70s, and she came up to me and she said, you know, I hope you're supporting the rail because I would like to be able to enjoy this trail too, and I don't see myself getting on a bike and biking from here to Watsonville, but I tell you what, I'd love to be able to get on a train over here on the west side and go have lunch over in Capitola and enjoy the view that everybody else gets to share by taking that trail. And that's part of why I'm committed to making sure the rail is an opportunity for our community. For those of you who don't know me very well, I'm originally from Chicago, which was and still is the nation's rail transit hub. Throughout my life, there have been many times when I, like many of you, either chose to not or couldn't afford to own a car and had to rely on alternative forms of transportation. Biking, skateboarding, walking were all means for getting around locally, but when needing to travel further, public transit was the next best option when it was available. This is the story of many low-income people throughout our community, and learning how to navigate around without a car is probably one of the best things we can be taught in life. It teaches us patience. It teaches us how to manage our time wisely. It provides us with an opportunity to meet new people from different backgrounds. It gives us time to sit back and read a book or do work while we travel. It gives us an opportunity to get some fresh air and exercise when we're getting to and from our house and to those bus stops. And honestly, it allows us to save money because a monthly bus pass or train pass costs a lot less than gas, car maintenance, and insurance. More than anything, it also lets us know that we're doing our part to reduce congestion on our roadways and reduce our carbon footprint, because the last thing we need is for cars to be sitting in traffic jams, pumping more CO2 into our atmosphere. I'm sure you all probably know this already, but I say all this because we're in the middle of the worst socioeconomic crisis since the Great Depression and the worst environmental crisis in the history of human existence, and we must do something now to right the wrongs of the past, to create opportunities for the future. I don't know if many of you saw it, but last year there was an article about how a 300 square foot house in Santa Cruz sold for over $1 million. On Zumper.com, it stated that 54% of the households in Santa Cruz are renters, and the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Santa Cruz is $2,350 a month. There are help wanted signs covering many of the small businesses that we know and love in this town, and restaurant owners are struggling to find dishwashers even when they're paying them up to $20 an hour. With the cost of living far outpacing the increases in wages, we need to do everything we can to help drive the cost for working families down, and public transportation is part of the solution. More importantly, as our climate continues to get warmer every year from carbon emissions, we're seeing the predictions of the past become a reality. I can't remember the last year when I didn't hear that we had record-breaking fire seasons in the state of California. We continue to see increased drought. We're seeing increasingly longer and stronger hurricane seasons. And the time to do something about this was yesterday, which is why we must act now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Public transportation is not the final solution to all of our problems, but it is a means to provide safe, reliable, low-cost, low-carbon-emitting transportation for people of all ages, income levels, and abilities that helps us get to where we need to go and reduce our carbon footprint. I sit on the Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments board here in this region, and here in Santa Cruz County, in total for all the jurisdictions that are here, we're looking at being charged with creating over 12,000 units of housing over the next 8 to 10 years. In addition to this, many of the state laws are incentivizing the production of housing along transit corridors and near public transportation hubs. If this is the case, then it's our obligation to plan and invest in the public transit infrastructure that will be necessary to meet the demands of our future, not only in our city, but in our entire region. And I'm sure, like many of you, I keep hearing people say, yeah, rail would be great, but we don't have any money. Well, let me remind you of something. This year, the Biden administration just passed one of the best infrastructure bills in over half a century, which can provide some of the funds necessary to move forward with transit opportunities like rail in our community.
That's right. That's right.
And this became a reality because there is the political will to make it happen. California, as a state, is the 5th largest economy in the world. There are entire countries in this world that are poorer than our state that are making rail and public transportation a reality. So, pun intended, let's get on the train. Let's elect people who are going to support rail and public transit. Let's put our dollars where it makes sense. And let's do our part to make sure future generations have clean, safe, efficient public transportation, which includes rail here in our community.
Yeah. Yes.
So I know I've gone on for way too long, but I'm passionate about public transportation, especially rail. When I got to ride the Costa Futura train last year, I can't tell you how many memories it brought back to me. I was thinking of how many ways I could use that rail in the future to get around this county. I know that together that we can make this dream a reality. And in honor of Black History Month, I want to close by saying a few things. As a Black man and descendant of former slaves, when you were born into this country, you enter a reality with many odds stacked against you. And you are taught to fight for what you deserve and what is right. You find people in your community who are willing to stand with you, you join forces, and you fight back. Because the history of Black people in America is the history of all oppressed people around the world. And what we stand for and fight for now will benefit the next generation. So when Rosa Parks was told Black people can't sit in the front of the bus, you know what she said? Yes, we can. When Black people were told they couldn't vote, you know what they said?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. When women were told they couldn't vote, you know what they said?
Yes, we can.
When they told us you're never going to be able to elect a Black president, you know what we said?
Yes, we can.
When LGBTQ people were told they would never be able to get legally married in the United States, you know what they said?
Yes, we can.
And when Latino farm workers were told they couldn't unionize, you know what they said? So when they say you can't build passenger rail in Santa Cruz County, what do we say? Yes. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Justin Cummings. I'll be around. I'm going to collect signatures if you all want to support me running for county supervisor and get my name on the ballot. And I want to end by letting you all know that there will be an item on the City Council's agenda this week to oppose the abandonment of the freight line. And we encourage you all to come out to support us as we want to urge the City Council to write a letter to the RTC saying we want you to oppose abandonment of this freight line in our community. Thank you very much.